So after Sasuke got all up in Gaara's chest with one of the toughest Chidoras in the series that almost sent him to his mom 5 episodes into his screen time, he comes out of that sandball tweaking, looking like he having withdrawals. And since he is indeed the type of person you have to pay close attention to whenever they reach in their backpack, everybody watching starts to get nervous, meaning that now, it's time. As we see an Anbu member touching NPC's shoulder, slowly putting mans to sleep like he was making him watch Rudy Gobert highlights. As we start seeing feathers start floating down the screen like a non-psychotic version of Itachi about to show up, before even Naruto start getting put to sleep. So naturally, the strongest man in the world instantly recognizes it's a genjutsu, as him and Kakashi immediately release themselves, as we go out to see every normal civilian slumped, like somebody snuck Ian's XXL freestyle into the speaker. But turns out, of course, the prodigy Sakura doesn't fall under the genjutsu. That girl about immune to genjutsu and one-shotting Ino. She might be the strongest one here. As we then pan to the Kages before the Kazekage very slowly and very sinisterly starts looking over. Would have had me sitting there like this, making Hiruzen also very slowly start looking over too, as we get a stare down before the Kazekage asks, "Shall we begin?" As his security blitz in front, letting off a smoke bomb, allowing Raito to get cooked by 2 kunai to the chest. If he was a Kardashian, that would have let off pops louder than John Morant. But then the Kazekage blitzes in, putting Hiruzen in a headlock with the kunai to his throat, trying to end him before the diabetes do, until he goes jumping up with them to the roof, where 4 people also go jumping out of disguises, as they reveal to be, of course, the Sound Force, who were somehow able to sneak into the strongest village in the world completely undetected. But I guess that is to be expected when the person running the village was alive when the Naruto version of George Washington was here. So now the Anbu go jumping forward to try and back up Hiruzen, but the Sound Ninjas start up a barrier that one of them ends up crashing into, literally getting cooked alive, like they come in contact with Bonnie Blue or something, instantly burning the life out of him. But this leaves Lil Hiruzen and the Kazekage in here all alone. And even Guy and Kakashi can't help because they back here getting pressed by NPCs. And for some reason, Kishimoto wanted to hate on Guy and not let him use the gates. I guess so he couldn't flex on Kakashi too bad, cause he gotta have at least some aura. Even though honestly, all that should have disappeared after Zabuza, but I guess. And so now Hiruzen not finna get no help anytime soon. As we go back to the Kazekage having a yap off, where Unk decides he got no other choice than to try talk no jutsu. But of course, that joke don't work. That's a main character only move, my boy, and you are not like that. Nope. But the important thing is that the Kazekage calls him Sarutobi Sensei, which can only mean things about to get real freaky. But then we find out their real plan was to capture Sasuke while Gaara was cooking the village. But since Sasuke is so tough, that ain't happening. So instead, we start seeing the Kazekage literally rip off his face, revealing because honestly, this was not necessary at all. If somebody threatens my life then start licking, death is the last thing I'm gonna be worried about. But while this is happening, we go down to see Kakashi, Guy, and even Sakura realize that the one behind all of this is Orochimaru, making her instantly think he's after Sasuke. But luckily, bro is gone. So now all she gotta do is worry about these 2 NPCs pouncing at her, which of course makes Kakashi pull up aura farming, hitting him with a double slash without even looking up. And yet the worst part about this is not him aura farming for Sakura, but instead, as we see Orochimaru actually crying, seeing that he done found a new Diddy disciple, before he inches the kunai closer to Hiruzen, and we see ketchup go splattering across the screen. But we see there ain't no dust in it, meaning it can't be Hiruzen's. As we find out, this man Orochimaru done stabbed his own hand, even letting out a yawn, claiming he did it because he was feeling sleepy. Which is like, y'all don't got coffee over there in the sound or something? Ain't nobody believing that bold-faced lie, my boy. You was not fooling nobody. It's okay to be a little soft. Everybody get nervous. But then he also just starts walking away, because turns out he might be a real nigga, because he want a fair 1v1. As we now get the face off. until we hear the Anbu say that if Hiruzen can take out one of the sound ninja, then they can all hop in and jump the white off Orochimaru, making the sound 4 be like, oh word, and just each put a barrier behind them as well, meaning the only way out is through Orochimaru. But with my 223 IQ, I'm logically able to deduct that the seal doesn't go through the roof, meaning through a hole he could easily go down and escape. But since not everybody got my kind of brains, of course Hiruzen settles with his fate, as we even get a random ass gust of wind signaling that it's finna go down. Even though there's literally a barrier around them, these just spawned in some wind like they was aimed for oil purposes. I gotta respect it, and since they got the foreman out of the way, it's time. As they both take turns jumping forward with Hiruzen spamming signs that turn the tiles into projectile shuriken, which is ass, but still tough. As Orochimaru just jumps over him and then proceeds to turn his tongue into a damn snake and of course goes straight to Hiruzen's neck, getting yet another hickey victim. Like at this point, bro need a muzzle. This the same freak that your homies be like, nah, he don't bite. Imagine Kaku from One Piece having to fight Orochimaru, bro. He probably off himself so quick, as if his life wasn't already bad enough. Look at him. But as Orochimaru is flying towards him, we see Hiruzen done substituted with the mud clone. Had me confused, I thought he turned into Madara. Straight shit. So then Orochimaru puts that thing back in his throat and looks back at Hiruzen just standing there, starting a jutsu that spawns in a river of Playboy Cardi music. They go sweeping him away as Hiruzen then combos it with a damn dragon machine gun that even Orochimaru can't believe. And even then, he's still not finished, because then he start blasting fire, coating the mud in it, making Orochimaru start tweaking as he proceeds to get cooked alive, which is low-key becoming a habit. Guess that's just another king added to the list. And so Orochimaru gets completely overtaken by the mud and swept away. But Hiruzen says that he can stop his little act, as bro just starts spawning in from the roof looking as good as new, meaning just wasted all that chakra for no reason. I know he probably on a quarter of a tank now. It's all but over for him. He ain't had to move like this since the 80s, leaving them with yet another face-off. Before Hiruzen decides, it's time to get serious, eating off his cap and gown like he just graduated and giving us the slow pan up on this absolutely abysmal fit. Bro got the surf's up dude flip-flops on that for some reason even strap around his ankle like some high heels that go into a fishnet calf wrap just so them old ass legs can breathe a little bit. As you see, he even got the wrist fishnet too, just to cope with the arthritis. That's all combo into this black tablecloth he uses to hide all his wrinkles and stains. And that's not even mentioning the shoulder pads, even though bro ain't never touched a football in his 180-year life. And this fake ass samurai hat looking like he trying to protect against CTE. That obviously don't work. And he got the nerve to stand here posing too like he tough. They gotta stop putting these old on camera, man. And even now, Orochimaru sees it's his chance to strip too, except he know his fit buns. So luckily, we don't gotta watch that dramatic ass pan up on it. Thank you, Kishimoto. But instead, we start seeing the ground cracking because they're both charging up that chakra, getting ready for the real boxing. Even talking some trash too, with Hiruzen telling them, depending on how his jutsu is, he might have to send him back to the academy. Typical Unk humor, but I can always respect the dog. But it was so crazy that even the Anbu members say they can feel the chakra weighing down on them. But again, there is a barrier in between y'all, so this is just irrational glaze. But regardless, we move to them both blitzing in with Hiruzen throwing a shuriken, followed up by both of them doing hand signs, till we see the shuriken turn into Naruto getting clones of itself, and it's a bunch of them too, trying to hit every single angle like me at a Tsunade photo shoot, before Orochimaru starts up his own jutsu, summoning in 2 caskets like he finna jump them with skeletons. And Hiruzen like, oh nah, I can't let him bring out a third. Even with all my years of experience, I can still only handle 3 at a time, making him clap his hands together, and we see the casket take its ass back down to the nether where it belongs, leaving Orochimaru. And this is before Kishimoto decided to turn Hashirama into a damn demigod. That Shingo Shuriken Jutsu is not helping you this time, huh? So they go walking out, and of course, we get the face off. Masters versus student. Before Orochimaru puts the tag in the back of each of their heads and all that pent up energy starts steaming out. If only Sasuke was still here, Tobirama would have had a stroke and Hashirama would have been too busy trying to be best friends with him, so they'd be chilling. But instead, we see Hiruzen in complete and utter disbelief. In all his 163 years of life, he ain't never seen nothing like this. And getting lost in the moment, Unk even starts to cry, saying that they look the same as he remembers, which proves to all y'all ducks out there that think Hashirama died of old age. Even though we literally see Tobirama is still young the day he got packed up. When he got packed up after Hashirama. Like, just think logically. But ranting aside, we see the brothers very slowly go walking up, just to once again stand still, forming aura, even from the grave. Till they both blitz forward, leaving Hiruzen still just standing there in shock. It's like taking a man from World War I and showing him Mariah Mills. His brain cannot process all that. Just ask Zion. Before he weaves some kunai and gets pressed by non-lore accurate Hashirama. Before barely dodging a kick from them Shaquille O'Neal ass feet and connecting a clean sweep, putting Hashirama about horizontal in the air, hitting a Gear 5 Luffy. Before backflipping away as Tobirama comes flying in, how I would if Tsunade needed somewhere to sit. Wasn't no reason for him to be doing all this. Just to land, turn around, sprint back in, and proceed to not land one single hit on this man. Got Hiruzen looking like he's 25 again. I ain't seen this level of weavery since him weaving his responsibilities with Naruto. Before he then catches Tobirama's foot and hits 1, 2, 3, 4 360s, launching that bigot all the way across the map, out here looking like Brock Lesnar daughter. Bro got the strongest genes of all time. As now Hiruzen starts up hand signs, bringing out some double D's to make Taylor Swift jealous, and blow a fat fireball that goes barreling to the Senju, and they dumbass just sit there and eat it too. They must have thought they was back home in hell. They acting way too used to this. Even Orochimaru out here smirking, knowing that's where he's supposed to be too. Except we go in to Tobirama looking perfectly fine, even starting up his own jutsu. I guess bro really is used to this. The Uchihas was probably down there jumping the life out of him. He was getting burnt on a daily. As he then shoots out a crazy wall of water, about completely nullifying the fire, getting Unk flabbergasted. He did not know this kind of technology existed. Bro would have had a stroke if he found out about the ninja tools. But now everything calms down and we see Tobirama load them hands back up, spawning in a damn tornado of water that eventually even starts filling up the screen, thinking he finding some bum with the devil fruit. Except it looks so crazy, it makes Hiruzen start shitting all over the floor out of pure fear. Unk is not built for this. Except it turns into a mud wall that blocks the goddamn tsunami, giving him enough time to jump away and duck the fade. But now he has the high ground, and it's the first turn the box. As he comes blitzing in with his fist out, thinking he's Superman, knowing damn well he can't pull Lois because, well, that's all me. As Hiruzen loads up and shoots many fireballs that all get blocked with nothing but straight aura from the first. I know if Madara saw this, he would have been passed out seeing his glorious king pull this off. But that's when Hashirama goes jumping up and coming down with a straight kick that gets blocked just to land and splash water in his face, hitting him with the Be Nasty special before landing a nasty kick, then bing, another one followed with a diabolical left to finish the combo. Had this man showing off his pristine dentures and rearranging his face like he wasn't already ugly enough as it was. Except instead of that being it, Hashirama then boots this man out of there, sending him back into the nap position. And then the first still readies back up like a dog, man. That's my Hokage right there. So now Hiruzen has no choice but to start getting his old ass up, even saying, as quick and strong as ever I see. Which I highly doubt. As he gets snuck with the water, as you see Tobirama got bro in a headlock while underwater, making sure Unk never takes another breath. Except of course, out of nowhere he goes shooting out the water and climbing this wall like a damn crackhead, while Magaramu start blasting these damn water lasers trying to give his student the donut treatment. Even Kakashi wouldn't stoop that low, as we see the cliff come crumbling down and putting Hiruzen back on the roof trying to catch his breath with them old ass dusty lungs. But that's when we see something come sprouting from beneath him. As you can see in his face, he already knows it's over. As he looks up to Hashirama trying to spawn in his own forest that goes and launches Hiruzen and making him go jumping through the trees like he a mini Tarzan, making Hashirama go all out. And now even start grabbing Hiruzen and completely ties his old ass up, making Orochimaru walk up, saying that now it is all but over. except Hiruzen goes reaching forward and even touching a branch before casting a summoning jutsu and bringing out the Monkey King Emma, easily one of the toughest summoners in the series. So tough, in fact, Orochimaru tells the Senju to go before he transforms. So we see Tobirama come speeding in and getting rocked right back down, putting him face first in some wood like he been watching too much TT. As then Hashirama pulls up, getting blocked, then sent flying back, giving Emma the perfect opportunity to transform. And like he playing prop hunt, we see bro turn into a staff that goes slicing through the wood and freeing Hiruzen. And since Orochimaru ducking, now it's officially a 2v2. But speaking of Orochimaru, what the freak is this angle, bro? I don't know how, but he looked like Orochimaru inside an Orochimaru costume, looking like he ate Boruto era Anko. Until he starts pressing down on his lean gut, making his face start to tweak, got him looking like a titan, before bringing a big black snake out his throat that then brings a sword out of its throat and drops it right down into this freak's hands, making little mini Hiruzen have to ready up too. So he goes rushing in, jumping up, turning back the clock, and trying to power pole Orochimaru, who dodges, backflipping up out of there. And then for literally zero reason, we see Hiruzen just dancing with his staff, pulling off some Duke Dennis level sorcery, all while Orochimaru just stand there looking like a demon holding his sword as Hiruzen spins, block, weave, and now all of a sudden, his little ass 12 feet in the air just to show us that he still got it, before proceeding to get his next 4 attack attempts all blocked. He do not still got it. But now Orochimaru jumps up just to get pressed, having to weave the staff again before getting put right back on defense. Bro not even getting the chance to get something off. This is top tier strategy from the old man. As Orochimaru continues to weave before choosing to just block the staff instead, giving us a standoff to see who's the strongest. Except in case you forgot, this is not a 1v1, as Hashirama beams in, sweeping him off his feet just to still place a tag on him, before Tobirama pull up too, kicking away the staff, and instead of defending himself, Hiruzen chooses to place a tag on him too, and eat a kick to the face. Spitting him out the frame got him doing the handsome Squidward. And so now Orochimaru finally senses his chance, going speeding in, rocking him with the left, then a right, and the left, before super kicking him out the frame once again, this time putting that old ass back on the ground. Somebody get Unk his life alert, as we see Orochimaru back here showing off the position he taught Kabuto, while cooking Hiruzen for trying to pull off a 1v3 without at least using some shadow clones. Not realizing cheeks divided by cheeks is just worse cheeks. He was cooked regardless. So now he goes walking over and proceeds to teabag Unk, giving him a front row seat to the real snake, before then bending over and grabbing him by the shirt just to talk shit to his sensei, face to face. I would say I respect the dog, but you jumped the old man, bro. You should be ashamed. Even Emma spawns in an eye just to make sure he's seeing this right. He can't believe he got summoned for this. As Hiruzen just looks up at his student before eventually shedding a tear, realizing that this is not the same person, making him fully lock in, pulling Orochimaru down, snapping his ACL and smacking a kick on his chin, as Emma sends in a hand, putting it right to his throat, not realizing he probably liked that shit, which leads to him just busting all over the place, just for him to form back with the mud, which is 100% cheating, as he stands here with this dumb look on his face, before once again eating a kick, sending him twirling through the air and rolling on the ground like he's trying to put out a fire. Before we go zooming in onto the pepper bomb on Hashirama that Hiruzen readies up and detonates with no hesitation, trying to make sure he never walks again, before he blows up the one on Tobirama too, trying to give him the Sasuke treatment to atone for his sins, which now leaves Hiruzen Sarutobi as the last one standing. That is until he looks and sees the corpses of his brethren start to regenerate, making him come to the realization he only has one more trick up his sleeve, the jutsu of the fourth. But before that, Orochimaru starts to walk back to his sword for the sole purpose of talking trash, but with a little bit of aura, until he then hold on, what do we have here? Hey, I gotta know. Is this a valid hear me out? As just came together so perfectly. It's hard to fathom Kishimoto came up with this as a villain and then proceeded to make villains like Pain in The Masked Man too, bro. That man is goated. And so now we go into a flashback of Hiruzen finding Orochimaru in his Diddy cave in the middle of one of his world famous experiments. This is just another reason why I can't trust Yamato, because to survive this, there's no way you turn out to be a normal human being. He gotta be hiding something. Just look at his eyes. This is the face of a man who cannot be trusted. But this is when Orochimaru tells him his goal. Me really starts to wonder how Orochimaru somehow managed to grow up in the leaf without once touching a jail cell. If you ask me, Hiruzen gotta be investigated because there's no way he wasn't involved. But now we see Hashirama cast a jutsu that shoots branches out straight to Hiruzen that go and fill up the entire barrier, surrounding them with more wood than a Lily Phillips vid. Before we see Hiruzen finally somehow in the jail cell he belongs in, getting saved by Emma. But instead of consoling the old man, he cooks him for having one of the craziest fall-offs he's ever seen, like a LeBron in the finals type fall-off. Straight cheeks. And I know he's going through it because we end up back in the flashback where Orochimaru literally murked the two people Hiruzen was here with before appearing behind him, not even looking back, knowing this bum ain't gonna do nothing, as he proceeds to just run away, with Hiruzen not even trying to stop him, which, if I assume correctly, is aiding and abetting. Therefore, I hereby declare this old ass man needs to be in prison. I can about damn guarantee Danzo would not have let this slide. You know how much of a fraud you gotta be for me to compare you to Danzo? And you're the worst of the two? But I guess things change, even if it takes 30 years, because now is when Hiruzen decides to right his wrongs, as the jail pulls away, leaving him with his staff, and the Senju's instant transmission, making Hiruzen have no choice but to bring out some shadow clones, the Anne Hathaway of Jutsu, elite in every era, before he starts spamming signs, and we see none other than the Reaper of Death spawn in the battle, meaning no matter what, somebody is joining Minato today, as now Tobirama does a jutsu, loading up the Bringer of Darkness, leaving us with nothing but black like it's the Cloud Village. You know, minus Sami, she do not count. She with me. As we see Hiruzen get smacked with the right hand and then the left, recalibrating his old ass brain, making him finally put up his guard that these dumbasses start hitting, even though it's 62 other places on his 5'2" body that they could have hit. But while we here, this whole time Hiruzen's giving a speech where he says whenever he gets paid up, he'll get replaced by a new and stronger Hokage. And we all know who that ends up being, right? So now they top 4, I just had to let y'all know. But now he finally claps his hands to start up the jutsu. Except he just ends up getting pressed and put on his ass instead. Even getting up, hitting the Vegeta arm grab. This man is so buns. But this is when the Reaper starts up something that looks like a curse mark before reaching into Hiruzen's soul as he sends off his shadow clones to finally go and do something. As one grabs onto somebody and still catches like 5 back shots, looking like Dylan Brooks with LeBron, before he sends out the Reaper to latch on to whoever he's holding, which makes the darkness disappear, and we see it's none other than Mr. Wood himself. And we see the other one got Tobirama too. But I'm curious, how would it play out if Tobirama teleported? Would he just like die on the spot since he already got caught? Or would the jutsu just like stop? But either way, this means there's only one person left to grab, because we see both of the Senju get sealed away, leaving Hiruzen in tears and us with the standoff. Before the shadow clones poof away and Hiruzen calls over Emma like it's Mjolnir, before jumping up and coming down, clashing with Orochimaru as they both proceed to put up Wimby type defense, not landing a single attack, before we see Orochimaru turn around and get that sword smacked away. And so, realizing his op is unarmed, Hiruzen uses that 200 IQ to jump away. What a smart fellow, as he proceeds to now use his power pole from farther away, letting Orochimaru very easily tie it up. But that's when Hiruzen pops up on Orochimaru and grabbing them nipples, finna give him a purple nurple, and gets all up in his face, blowing that oatmeal and crackers ass breath everywhere, as the Reaper reaches out and goes inside Orochimaru. I know Kabuto over there punching the air right now. But instead of folding, Orochimaru uses the famous two-finger technique, somehow activating some damn telekinesis that picks up his sword, launches it forward, and gets caught by the monkey Emma. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's a real nigga right there. Ironic, wouldn't you say, Frieza? Except we see that he was not fast enough, further sealing the fate of the third. But in return, Orochimaru can't use his jutsu, and instead, he's stuck staring at the face of the Reaper. But before giving up, he again brings out the two-finger technique to slowly inch his sword deeper into his sensei. And eventually, 6 episodes later, Hiruzen confesses that he doesn't even have the strength to rip out all of Orochimaru's soul, meaning Maru will roam the streets again. Except when he does, he's gonna have to do it with no jutsu, because Hiruzen starts pulling as the Reaper cocks back and comes down, slicing through his soul and sealing it inside Hiruzen. As Orochimaru's arms start turning into some Torane victims, because now he'll never be able to form a hand sign again, because his arms are done, which of course makes him start to tweak. Except it doesn't matter now, because his sensei is done, meaning all 4 Hokage of the Leaf are gone.